Have you ever thought of someone, felt that urge to call, and then told yourself, I will do it another day, only to find out that the chance to call them would never come back? Have you ever carried an apology or an I love you in your chest for years, believing there would always be plenty of time to say it, until one day life slammed it or shut and you realized that later had silently turned into never? Welcome back to the channel, my friend. It really means something that you are here, because today we are going to talk about a sentence we say all the time but rarely examine. There is still time. Another day. Later. Someday. We promise ourselves that we will visit our parents when work is less busy. We will take care of our health when this project is finished. We will fix our marriage when things calm down. We will start meditating when we are older. We hang our whole life on the hook of later, as if later were something guaranteed. But the truth that life keeps whispering, and sometimes shouting, is very simple and very sharp. There are far fewer tomorrows than we imagine. There is no warehouse of extra days waiting for us. There is only this endlessly disappearing moment, over and over again. In the original story behind this talk, there were three kinds of regret that kept showing up. First, the regret of family, parents, partners, and children we assumed would always be there, until suddenly they were not. Second, the regret of love, feelings we postponed expressing, conversations we kept saving for some perfect future, until the person we loved had already turned away. Third, the regret of health and life itself, bodies we pushed past their limits, signals we ignored, doctor visits we delayed, until that one sentence from a doctor broke our illusion of having time. Today, I want to walk with you slowly through these themes, not to make you afraid, but to help you wake up a little more to the fragile gift in your hands right now. We will talk about impermanence, karma, destiny, compassion, and awakening, but in a story-based way, the way you might talk with a close friend late at night. My hope is that somewhere in this conversation, you will feel something shift inside you. Maybe a phone call will finally be made. Maybe a checkup will finally be booked. Maybe a grudge will finally begin to melt. Maybe you will stop handing your life to later and start living it here. Let us begin with a very common illusion, the illusion of endless time. Most of us, especially when we are young, move through life with a secret assumption that tomorrow will look roughly like today. The faces we see every day will keep appearing. The people who answer our messages now will keep answering. Our body will keep waking up, more or less functional, because we have woken up thousands of mornings in a row. We unconsciously assume that this is how it will always be. So we say things like, I will visit my parents when work is less crazy. I will play with my kids when they are a bit older. I will talk seriously with my partner when this stressful season is over. I will start taking care of my health when I have more time. I will start spiritual practice when I retire. We push everything that really matters into the fog of later, and then we are genuinely surprised when life does not cooperate with our schedule. I want to share with you the story of an older brother, because his life is like a mirror for millions of people. He was the classic hard-working man. From the outside, his life looked admirable. He started from nothing, built a career, supported his family, bought an apartment, paid the bills. He was always busy, always moving. In his heart, he loved his children. When he looked at them sleeping, something soft would melt in him. He loved his wife too, even if he did not always know how to express it. He loved his aging parents, who lived in another city and called him often, but he had a habit. Whenever someone needed his time for something that did not feel urgent to him, he would say the same sentence. Later, when I have time, his son would tug his sleeve and say, "Dad, can you come to my school event?" The brother would think of the deadlines, the emails, the money he still needed to make, and say, "I am really busy this month. Maybe next time." His wife would say, "We have not really talked in a long time. Can we go out, just the two of us?" He would glance at his calendar and answer, "After this project, after this promotion, after this phase." His parents would call and say, "We miss you. Can you come home for a few days?" He would hold the phone with his shoulder while continuing to type and reply, "Work is crazy right now. I will come back when things slow down." Year after year, his mouth was full of later. He told himself that everything he was doing for them, for the children, so they would have a better future, for his wife, so she would not have to worry about money, for his parents, so he could send them gifts and support. Then one day, in what felt like the blink of an eye, he looked up and realized that the landscape around him had quietly changed. His children were teenagers now, then young adults. They had been used to a father who was always at the office, always on the phone, always too busy to attend their small but precious events. They had learned to share their stories with friends, with screens, with themselves. Their emotional life had grown away from him, like a tree quietly leaning toward the light it actually received. His marriage had become a house where the polite strangers lived. His wife, after waiting for this imaginary future time when they would finally connect, had eventually stopped asking. She built her own world of friends, hobbies, and secrets. The holes that had slowly formed in the relationship were never patched. They simply widened until there was almost nothing left. His parents, after many calls promising next year, next vacation, next time, had grown old in another city. The father's steps became unsteady. The mother's memory began to blur. They still loved their son, but they had stopped expecting him to walk through the door. And then there came a specific day, the kind of day that life sometimes uses as a knife to cut through our illusions. His father fell ill and was taken to the hospital. The brother rushed to buy a ticket to fly, to finally be there. But by the time he arrived, his father was already lying still, surrounded by tubes, machines unplugged, eyes closed. He stood there, staring at the face he had always assumed he would have time to see again and again. In his chest, a single sentence roared, "I thought we had more time." Later, when he looked back on his life, he said something that stung like a blade. "When I finally had time, my child no longer needed me. When I finally had time, my marriage was already full of holes. When I finally had time, my father was no longer in this world." He realized that the words "I am doing this for you" were partly true, but partly an excuse. An excuse to avoid the discomfort of emotional presence. An excuse to stay in the territory he knew, which was work, achievement, tasks, life. Through his regrets, gave us a very clear spiritual teaching. Tomorrow is not a storage room where you can safely keep everything you do not want to feel today. In the language of karma and destiny, every time you say later to a living relationship, you are planting a seed. That seed ripens as distance, as coldness, as doors that slowly close without making a sound. Now, not all regrets are about family. Some of the deepest ones are about love that could have been, but never had the courage to be real. There was a girl, very quiet on the surface, but with a heart full of storms. She fell in love in her early 20s. It was the kind of love that changes the climate inside you. When she was with him, Time moved differently. When he smiled, the world seemed lighter. He loved her too, but he was just as shy, just as afraid of being rejected. They spent beautiful months together, walking, talking, laughing, sharing little dreams. Yet there were things both of them never said. Sometimes he would ask, gently, "Where do you see yourself in a few years? Us in a few years?" Inside, she felt her heart leap with 1,000 words. "I want to walk through life with you. I want to face joys and hardships together. I want to try." But her old fears were loud. What if he does not feel the same? What if I say too much and scare him? So she smiled, changed the subject, or said something vague. "Let us see what happens." They had small misunderstandings, like all couples. Moments when he needed reassurance and did not get it. Moments when she needed clarity and did not ask. Each time, there was a chance to sit down, to be honest, to say, "I care about you and I am scared. Can we talk?" Each time, one or both of them chose the easier sentence, "We can talk about it later." Until one day, without any dramatic explosion, their connection quietly loosened. He met someone else who seemed more open, more willing to name her feelings. He began to drift. She noticed. Of course, her intuition screamed. But instead of opening her heart fully and risking everything, she told herself the familiar story, "I will find the right moment. I will talk to him when I am less busy, when he is less stressed, when the mood is perfect." The right moment never came. What did come was a short, painful message, "I think we should break up." When she read it, she felt as if the floor had vanished under her feet. She scrolled through their past messages, stared at old photos, replayed conversations, the same scent unspounded in her chest as in the story before. "I thought we had time." She cried for days, unable to breathe, feeling as if a part of her had been torn out. And yet, in the deep quiet after the storm, she realized something. It was not fate alone that had stolen this love. It was not some mysterious third party. It was, in large part, the way she had delayed her own truth. Over and over, she had said later to honest conversations. She had said later to vulnerability. She had said later to "I love you." Years passed. She moved to another city, married someone else, had a child. Life looked very different. Yet sometimes, when she held her sleeping baby, memories would float up like distant music. She would think of that young love, of her younger self who did not dare to say what she really felt. She would ask herself a question that many of us haunt ourselves with: if I had been braver back then, if I had not waited for later, would my life be completely different now? The honest answer is yes. Of course it would. Different choices plant different seeds and grow different forests. But there is a second, deeper truth. Life does not run on the word if. It runs on the law of cause and effect. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can understand it. You can see how the habit of postponing your truth created your current reality. And in seeing that, you can choose differently from now on. In spiritual language, we say that conditions arise and pass according to causes. A connection, a chance, a health warning, an inner calling. Each one is a kind of visitor that appears at your door. If you open, something new can happen. If you ignore it and keep saying later, the visitor will eventually walk away. When it is gone, it may not return, or it may return in a different form, with different people, after many years of detour. That is why some teachers say when the wind of opportunity blows, stretch your sail. Do not waste time complaining that your boat is not perfect. It is not only love and family that we postpone. Many people postpone something even more fundamental: the care of their own body and soul. Let us talk about the aunt, whose story has woken up many listeners. She was in her mid-40s, intelligent, capable, endlessly busy. From the outside, she was the kind of woman people admire, always running, always fixing, always doing things for others, for her children, for her husband, for her parents, for her company. She began to feel small signals from her body, tiredness that did not go away with sleep, dizziness, strange pain in her back. But she brushed them off. Her friends told her, "You should go see a doctor, just to be safe." She smiled and said the sentence that millions of people have said before her: "After I finish this big project, after the exam season is over, after the holiday, after the new year." Her later stretched longer and longer. Then one day, she collapsed in the bathroom and woke up in a hospital bed, surrounded by white lights and worried faces. Tests were run, doctors spoke quietly. Finally, one of them sat beside her and said a sentence that hit harder than any physical blow. "If you had come 6 months earlier, the situation would be much better." Those words were like a bell that rang through her entire life. 6 months. How many times in those 6 months had she said later? How many days had she pushed away her own fear, her own intuition, with the excuse that she was too busy taking care of everyone else? Lying in that bed for weeks, she had something she had refused herself for years. Time to think, time to see clearly. She realized a painful truth. I kept saying I am busy for my family, for my children, for my husband, for my parents, but the result of that business is that they are now the ones standing beside my bed, worried, exhausted, because I did not protect the basic condition for being there for them, my own health. She also saw that business had become her escape, a way to avoid facing the emptiness, fear, and loneliness that she carried inside. It feels noble to say, "I am doing this for you." It feels less glamorous to admit, "I do not know how to rest, how to feel, how to ask for help." If it had not been for the illness, she told a friend, I might have spent my whole life believing I had no time. The truth is, I had time. I just never gave any of it back to myself. Here we see a pattern that appears in many destinies. When we do not voluntarily pause and awaken, life sometimes gives us a forced retreat, a breakup that shakes us awake, a death that cracks our heart, a sickness that stops us in our tracks. This is not life being cruel for no reason. It is life, or if you like, karma, trying to show us what we refuse to see, that later is not a safe place to store the essentials. Some people awaken through heartbreak. Some awaken through illness. Some awaken through losing someone they thought they would never lose. The form is different, but the message is similar. You cannot keep postponing your real life to some imaginary later. You cannot keep assuming that people, health, and opportunities will wait forever. Human beings are experts at one particular kind of self-deception. We tell ourselves that we are not choosing. We say, "I do not know what to do, so I will just wait and see." We say, "I am not ready to decide yet, so I will just let things stay as they are." We say, "I will think about it later." But not choosing is also a choice. When you are standing on a road and you do not move, the road is still moving. Time is still moving. Other people are still moving. The child you did not spend time with still grows up. The partner you did not talk to still gets lonely. The body you did not care for still weakens. The dream you did not act on still loses its window. In spiritual terms, every moment of our life is both a result and a cause. It is the fruit of past choices and the seed of future ones. We love to fantasize about big, dramatic moments of transformation, a sudden enlightenment, a miraculous recovery, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But more often, destiny is quietly shaped by the things we keep postponing and the things we finally do. The question then becomes, why do we keep saying later, even when we know that later is dangerous? On the surface, the reasons are practical. We are tired. We are busy. We are overwhelmed. But if we look underneath, we often find something deeper: fear. Fear of rejection, so we do not say I love you. Fear of conflict, so we do not say I am hurt. Fear of bad news, so we avoid the checkup. Fear of failure, so we do not start the dream project. Fear of change, so we stay in a job or relationship that kills our spirit. We wrap that fear in the soft blanket of later, because later feels safer than here. Later is a magical place where we imagine we will be braver, richer, healthier, calmer. Of course, when later arrives, it is called now and we are still the same person. So we invent another later. In Buddhist teachings, this habit is sometimes described as ignorance, not in the sense of being stupid, but in the sense of ignoring the reality of impermanence. Impermanence means that everything is changing all the time. Bodies, relationships, fortunes, moods, opportunities. There is nothing we can point to and honestly say, this will stay exactly as it is. When we forget impermanence, we treat the people around us as if they were furniture, always there, always available. We treat our own body as if it were a machine with infinite spare parts. We treat our own heart as if we could endlessly delay its needs. When we remember impermanence, a different quality enters our life, not panic, but tenderness. We start to look at our parents and realize that their hair is grayer, their steps slower, their stories more repetitive. We see that there's a clock quietly ticking, not of fear, but of reality. We understand that one day, we will call their number and no one will answer. So maybe we call more now. Maybe we listen longer. Even when the stories repeat, we start to look at our children and understand that each phase will never return. There will be a last time they climb into our lap, a last time they ask us to hold their hand in public, a last time they excitedly bring us a drawing. We do not need to cling, but we also do not need to scroll our phone while they are talking. We recognize the sacredness in the mess. We start to look at our partner and realize that love does not hold still. It grows or it withers. Silence is not neutral. It is either pregnant with presence or heavy with neglect. We understand that I will talk to you later is not a safe promise, because the version of them who needs you now may not be here later. We start to look at our own body and see that it carries us faithfully through long days, long nights, stress, anxiety, sitting, staring at screens. We notice the ache in the back, the tightness in the chest, the fatigue behind the eyes. We understand that treating this body like a disposable tool is a form of spiritual ingratitude. Impermanence, when seen clearly, does not make life meaningless. It makes it precious. It is because the flower will fall that it is so beautiful now. It is because this moment will never repeat that it matters how we live it. In this light, procrastination is not just a time management issue. It is a spiritual issue. It shows us where we are asleep to the truth of change. So what can we do? We cannot stop time. We cannot control every event. We cannot guarantee that if we act now, nothing bad will ever happen. But we can change the way we relate to this moment. We can start by bringing awareness into the phrases we use. When you hear yourself think, "I will do it later," Pause. Ask yourself, am I really waiting for better conditions, or am I avoiding discomfort? Is this something that actually benefits from waiting, or is it something that will only get harder? If it is a sensitive conversation, maybe waiting until both people are calmer is wise. But if the waiting stretches into months or years, maybe you are no longer waiting for calm, you are waiting for courage. When you hear yourself say, "I do not have time," ask yourself, is that objectively true? Or is it that I am not giving my time to this because I am giving it to something else? We all have 24 hours in a day. Yes, some people carry heavier burdens, more work, more responsibilities. But even in the busiest lives, there are small choices. Do we watch another episode? Or call our mother? Do we scroll for an hour? Or sit quietly for 10 minutes and feel our breath? Do we gossip or use that time to check in with a friend who is struggling? You do not need to overhaul your entire life overnight. That idea itself becomes another excuse. I will change when I can change everything. Instead, look for one real thing you have been postponing that matters to your heart and move it from later to now. Call the person you miss, even if your voice shakes. Book the checkup, even if you are afraid. Say "I am sorry," even if your pride resists. Say "I love you," even if you do not know how they will respond. Sit down and meditate for 5 minutes, even if your mind is noisy. Write the first page, even if the book feels too big. Each of these actions is small on the outside but huge on the inside. In the language of karma, they are turning points. They are places where you choose awareness over habit. Some spiritual traditions speak of awakening as a sudden lightning strike. One moment you are asleep, the next you are enlightened. For most people, awakening is more like dawn. The sky does not go from black to bright in 1 second. It slowly lightens, shapes appear, colors return. Every time you do something now that you have been handing to later, you are lighting your sky by a degree. Because we are on a YouTube channel, let me share something very simple and concrete that you can do today. Take a piece of paper or open a note on your phone and write down 3 sentences. One person you have been meaning to call or visit. One health-related action you have been postponing. One inner practice or dream you keep saying you will start someday. Then ask yourself, what is one small step I can take on each of these within the next week? Not the whole thing, just one step, a message, a booking, a 5-minute practice. When you take those steps, do not rush. Feel what it is like inside to finally move. Feel the mix of fear, relief, sadness, joy. That feeling is the taste of waking up. Now, before we close, I want to speak about regret in a different way. We often talk about regret as if it is only negative, but regret, when met with awareness, can become one of the most powerful teachers in our life. The older brother who missed his father, the girl who lost her love, the aunt who delayed her checkup, all of them carry scars. Those scars hurt when touched, but those same scars can keep them from repeating the same mistakes. If regret only leads to self-hatred, it is useless. You lock yourself in a mental prison and keep stabbing yourself there. That helps no one. If regret leads to humility and change, it becomes medicine. You bow to your younger self, admit what you did not see, and then vow to live differently now. You cannot go back and hold the hand of the parent who is gone, but you can hold the hand of someone who still needs you today. You cannot go back and say, "I love you" to the lover who has married someone else, but you can learn to be honest and brave in your current relationships. You cannot go back and reverse the diagnosis, but you can treat your body with respect from this moment forward. and you can encourage others not to wait. In this way, regret becomes a bridge between your past and your future. It shows you where you abandoned your own heart and invites you to stop abandoning it now. So, my friend, as we come to the end of this long talk, I want to invite you to a very gentle experiment right now. While you are still here with me, close your eyes for a moment. If you can, take one slow breath in and one slow breath out. Bring to mind one person you would be devastated to lose without saying what you truly feel. See their face. Notice the details, the way they smile, the lines near their eyes, the sound of their voice. Then quietly ask yourself, if I knew that I only had one more month with this person, what would I want to say or do? You do not need to act out everything you imagine. Just let your heart answer honestly. Then, when you open your eyes, ask, is there one small piece of that I can bring into today? Without waiting for some special future, maybe it is a message of gratitude. Maybe it is a hug without rushing. Maybe it is a real conversation. You do not know how long you or they will be here. None of us do. But you do know this: for as long as you are both still breathing, there is some room to choose presence over postponement, to choose now over later. If this talk has stirred memories or emotions in you, I would be honored if you shared a little in the comments. Have you ever experienced a painful later that turned into never? Have you ever had a wake-up moment that made you stop saying I will and start saying I am? Is there something you decided to stop postponing? And did that decision change your life in unexpected ways? Your story might become the mirror that helps someone else see their own life more clearly. It might give them the courage to make that call, book that appointment, or speak that truth while they still can. If you feel that this kind of long, heart-to-heart content is meaningful, you can support the channel in simple ways. Subscribe so you do not miss future videos. Click like so the algorithm knows this was valuable to you, and share this with someone you care about, someone you do not want to lose to later. If you feel called to walk even more closely with this channel, you can also consider joining as a member. That kind of support gives us the strength to keep creating deep, reflective, compassionate videos in a world that is always trying to drag our attention away. Thank you, sincerely, for giving your time to listen all the way to the end. Time is the most precious thing we have, and the fact that you chose to spend yours here tells me that there is a part of you that truly wants to wake up, to cherish, to live. May you start today, in small but real ways, to move your life from later to now. May your future self look back, not with the bitter words if only, but with a quiet smile, grateful that you chose to live while you were still alive. Every person carries a certain energy. Your focus, your dreams, your purpose. Bracelet is a physical reminder of that energy. Symbol you wear daily, that pushes you to stay grounded, balanced, and aligned. If one of the bracelets caught your eye, you can order it through the link in the description and check more powerful styles on our homepage store. Choose the one that strengthens your journey.